Every so often, a client asks me some version of the same question. What am I actually paying you for? I love that question. If you can't say plainly what you're getting for your money, you shouldn't be paying for it. So let me answer it honestly, the way I would across the table from you. I think about the value we provide in 3 buckets. The first, you can see. The second is real, but invisible. And the third you won't fully appreciate until decades from now, when it's too late to go back and buy it. Start with what you can see, your portfolio and what it returns. The only number that matters is your net return, what you actually keep after fees. People get this backwards. They compare a 1% fee to a 0.25% fee and feel clever. But fees are already baked into net returns. 11% gross minus a 1% fee is 10% net. 3.75% gross minus a 0.25 point fee is 3.5% net. Which would you rather have? Nobody eats the fee they saved. You eat what's left. A higher fee that delivers a higher net result is the cheaper option every time. How is that higher net number built? Not with luck. With a diversified portfolio, invested systematically, run by disciplined rules instead of mood, so it doesn't chase greed or flinch in fear. DALBAR has measured the alternative for decades. The average investor earns far less than the very funds they hold, because, left alone, people buy high and sell low at exactly the wrong moments. The market didn't shortchange them. Their own decisions did. So sometimes the most valuable thing I do is nothing. But doing nothing on purpose, while the news screams and your gut begs you to act, isn't laziness. It's the hardest discipline in this business. And it only works with a good plan underneath it. The second bucket never shows up on a statement. Vanguard studied it for years and gave it a name, Advisors Alpha. They're finding a good advisor can add up to, or even exceed, 3% a year in net returns. Not every year, but concentrated exactly when it matters most, during euphoria and during panic. And the single biggest piece of that 3% isn't clever stock picking. It's behavioral coaching. In plain terms, it's me talking you out of the mistake you were about to make. Keep you from selling at the bottom or piling into a hot trend right before it reverses, and the loss simply never happens. Avoiding it once can be worth a 20 to 40% swing in a bad year. The third bucket is the hardest to measure and often the most important. One person who sees the whole picture, investments, taxes, cash flow, risk, the big decisions, and how every piece connects. A lot of this value is simply negatives that never happen. The tax bill you didn't pay, the risk you weren't carrying, the impulsive decision you didn't make. You see it by its absence. Having someone genuinely in your corner, steady when you're not, isn't expensive. It's priceless. So what about AI? It's here, it's powerful, and it keeps getting better at the mechanical parts of money. Good. I welcome it. But notice which bucket it's great at, the visible one, the part that was already getting commoditized. Here's what most people miss. AI eats the specialist for breakfast. The narrower and deeper the expertise, the easier it is to encode. What it struggles with is the opposite, the generalist. A financial planner is a generalist by design. My job isn't to know one thing to the bottom. It's to see how all of it fits together for one person, your investments, taxes, career, and the life you actually want. So the best advisors won't compete with AI. We'll use it, letting it automate the low-value tasks, so we can spend more time on the high-value ones, understanding you and being human when it counts. That's the job. That's what you're paying for. And it's the part that only gets more valuable as everything else gets automated. As always, if you want to talk through any of this, our door is open.